Marcus Speaks. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Marcus Speaks Live, the very podcast that gives you everything that you need. We talk about everything. We talk about politics. We talk about celebrity news. We talk about anything underneath the sun, love, relationships, all types of things. If you don't believe me, go ahead and look into this playlist, the Marcus Speaks Live playlist. It goes over and it has basically all of my live videos and my pre-recorded videos that I did in the past, right there, all on one playlist. Excuse me for 1 second. So, yeah. So before we get into tonight's show, we are going to basically go over some promotional things, and then we're going to hop into the pre-show, and then I'm going to give you the show. All right, so tonight I will be talking about the cause of death of the famous YouTuber Kevin Samuels. I've done various topics on Kevin Samuels. If you guys don't know, it's all in the playlist as well. You can search my YouTube channel for the videos that I've spoke about him. As well, tonight we're also going to be talking about Tasha K losing her appeal against the rapper Cardi B, as well as Dave Chappell's shows getting canceled in Minneapolis at the famous and historic First Ave theater, I believe it is, or it's a hall or some sort. If you guys ever watched Purple Rain, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Prince, that was Prince's home and the place he would go and try out new songs and stuff like that. Could see what the people's reaction was to each song. So we'll be talking about that as well. So everybody, if you are looking at the screen, look directly at the bottom at the scrolling tick. The scrolling tick is there for you to read. The scrolling tick is stuff that I used to say that I don't say anymore, but it's all there for you. As soon as you see a gap in the wording, that starts everything over. You can read through it. It's all there for you. All right? So, also look at the bottom third there. If you could, it is everything that I just said. Other than, if you could, please do me a favor. Like this video, share this video, and hit the bell icon to all so you can get all of my notifications as soon as I go live. All right? Other than that, we have, please, if you could, subscribe to both of my YouTube channels. Not only do I do this show, I also do a show on Fridays. It is a game stream show where I stream gameplay of the current game I'm playing. That very game is Horizon Forbidden West. It is the second part of the Horizon series. So if you could, go ahead and check that out as well. That has a playlist of its own. I am at, yesterday was part 11, and next week will be part 12. So if you want to go through the videos, if you want, you can. They're right there. Not only just on my main channel at Marcus Speaks, but also my secondary channel, if you could subscribe to Marcus Speaks Play, but is only there for where I play all my favorite games and a certain select few of new releases. All right, so other than that, hit those up in the description box below. Also on Fridays on Twitch, I do that very same game stream. All videos are held for 14 days. After that, they get deleted off of Twitch. So if you could, you can go over there and watch yesterday's and last week's video. But if you just want to watch all of them, you can come over here to both of my YouTube channels and its respective playlists and watch those videos as well. People, if you would like to come up and talk to me, you can. But I have 3 rules. But before I get into that, if you want to hit the link to every topic that I'm talking about, or if you want to wait to the end when I'm done to talk about whatever topic, the in the description box, wherever it's at, either there if you have your phone in landscape mode, or down there in the chat. You can. All right. The link is there. You can hit it. You can come talk to me. But I have 3 rules, like I said. Rule number 1: you must be on camera. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, unless you really don't feel like being on camera, which is fine. But that's rule number 2. But before you come up here and I have you up here speaking to me, you have to be on camera here in the background. There's a private chat back here. Hit the private chat. Tell me what your name is, and tell me if you would like to be on camera or would not like to be on camera. And as soon as I bring you up here, I'll let you know before you come up. And rule number 3 is, please silence all background noise. I don't want to hear anything that's going on in your house. I don't want to hear your your smoke detector beeping. I don't want to hear your dog barking. I don't want to hear your kids crying. I don't want to hear your husband yelling at you, your wife yelling at you. I don't want to hear none of that. Everything. Please go to a silent place somewhere in your house that you can be able to speak with me without interruption. All right. Other than that, that's it. All right. Yeah, that's it. So, with that being said, people, how's you guys this weekend going? Mine's is going pretty well. I had some of the best food I cooked last night. I tried out this new recipe. I tried out a Thai curry turkey cutlet recipe, and it came out very good. So I will be eating some of those leftovers tonight, and I cannot wait. It was so good. If you guys have ever had Thai chili, y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm about to start smothering Thai chili curry or Thai curry on every damn thing. Man. I'm about to see if I can find a bottle of it so I can just smother it on things. That sounded pretty crazy. But anyway, so yeah, people, what is going on with y'all? Please let me know in the chat. I will be looking at the chat. I have the chat right here next to me. You can't see it, but I can. But yeah, other than that, there's a few things that I have for you guys other than the show. When I do this show here, I go through certain points. With those points, to further the point, I usually have a video that goes along with it. So following YouTube's guidelines in fair use law, I will be telling you exactly what fair use is, but I won't be telling you from my mouth verbatim. I have something to tell you exactly what fair use is. Hello, everyone. I'm going to tell you about fair use. It's the law. Warning. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. Wasn't that beautiful? So, with that being said, I covered all my bases. So, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this very video right here. This very video has been getting its rounds on the interwebs. And basically, to me, it's ridiculous of what this family is demanding. But before I get into that, let's watch this video, this short video. So let's go through the video first. I might have some commentary in between while the video is playing. But other than that, here we go.
The mother and aunt of 2 black children is now consulting with a lawyer after she says the children were snubbed at Sesame Place Park outside Philadelphia. The costume performer, accused of intentionally ignoring the children, says the Rosita character was signaling no to parents who wanted a selfie and was not dismissing the children. But now other parents are sharing their own videos where they show similar cases of children being treated rudely by costume characters. Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon with more.
The family of the two little girls says Sesame Place still hasn't made things right and actually initially made things worse after the incident. Speaking here outside Sesame Workshop headquarters, they demanded a formal apology and the firing of the performer in that costume who snubbed the two 6-year-olds.
For little children, they should not have to experience such hurt and embarrassment from a character who's supposed to bring joy.
Jody Brown, here today with her 6-year-old niece, recorded the video, expecting to see the character Rosita interacting with her daughter and niece, but instead waving a finger as if to say no, first to someone else, then to them, and moving on, leaving the girls disappointed and bewildered. Sesame Place's initial statement: the costumes our performers wear sometimes make it difficult to see at lower levels, and sometimes our performers miss hug requests from guests. The family's attorney.
Now, although that statement was basically for legal purposes, I would also say this with that comment. It's also to cover their cover their behinds. You know why? Because the very thing that this family is basically suggesting is that the only reason why that the performer that was in the costume didn't shake or hug or whatever with the two little girls was because they were black. I would say no. This is what I would say with that. The only reason why that probably happened is because they were being flooded probably right there with suggestions. Sorry, I got this volume up too damn high. So they were probably suggesting the parents that was at the park. They were probably suggesting that, you know, hug my daughter, hug my son, blah blah blah, whatever. Legally, they probably couldn't do that, so that's the reason why they probably give high fives or handshakes, stuff like that, because it's non-personal. Excuse me. And I would also say this. I feel as though that we've lost the ability to think of things like this. And this is why. I feel as though that the parents and I said this in a post on my Twitter, and I will share that with you in just a second. So here we go. This is what I wrote on Twitter. I believe it was maybe 3 days later, maybe. So it says, this may come as a shock to many people and others, but what we see here is parents not taking accountability for their parenting. If you gave your children a better sense of their existence and who real role models look like, this wouldn't be news. It wouldn't. It most certainly wouldn't. We don't need to hear that. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but you don't need to hear that. But basically, that's what I wrote. And this is what I mean by it. I basically mean that as a parent, you have to basically look at it like this. You push this stuff in front of your children. This is the parenting that you're doing. You push these characters in front of your kids for one reason, so they can be quiet, so you don't have to hear them. And I would also say, you have these children grow so attached to these characters that they can't differentiate from Rosita from the show and Rosita that they're seeing right before their eyes. So since they can't differentiate Rosita from the show to Rosita right before their eyes, they feel as though this is really Rosita. Instead of you, and this goes along with the whole, this goes along also with people talking about Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, stuff like this. It's a certain age, and some people may disagree with me when I say this, but I don't care. You have to let kids know early what's real and what's fake. Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, all that jive, Tooth Fairy, all that, all fake. Every year when you see these presents in these baskets, and you see that quarter or that dollar underneath of your pillow, that's all me. The reason why I do this is because I love you. This never comes to someone's mind to say when they have children, which I understand. You don't want to, you don't want to upset your child. I understand. But again, I said in the tweet, accountability and parenting. You're not taking accountability for the simple fact that now you feel as though that your kids are hurt, that their favorite character didn't come to shake their hand, give them a high five, tell them, hey, good job, whatever. It's a parenting problem. Take accountability for it. Because you most certainly put this turmoil on your children, not the character. The character is there to entertain. That's the only job the character has, and that's the only job the character needs to do. It's your job to then make sure that this does not affect them. But they want to look at the performer as a problem, and they want to look at the performer as a problem and the park as a problem. And I don't understand why, but we'll get into that. The park has one motive: to make money and to entertain, and to make sure that their customers are safe when riding rides and walking around the park. Those are the only three things that this that this park has to do. As far as a child's mental health or whatever, they're not responsible unless the performer is at fault for it. What do I mean by at fault? At fault means this. Let's say the performer is some sort of child predator, and they so happen to work in a place where they know that kids will be all the time. So this when it becomes a problem. This very parade, uh, uh, celebrating Rosita's 4th birthday, I'm pretty sure that this character or the person that's playing the character has some sort of headset inside of that helmet to let them know, hey, this is, high five this section of kids' hands, skip a few sections, and then go shake more hands. If you can't shake all of their hands, just pick your place to where you want to go. I'm pretty sure they have a headset inside their ear, which we will politely call a handler in any stretch of the imagination. I'm pretty sure that they have more things to do. This parade is probably one of the things that they have for that very day to celebrate Rosita's 4th birthday. But we have to. This is what people aren't really speaking about. This is one thing people aren't speaking about. They blame Sesame Street or the company that owns Sesame Street for this issue, when Sesame Street has nothing to do with this. Sesame Street or the company that owns Sesame Street licensed these characters and their likeness to this park. The very people that own this park are the very same company that owns SeaWorld. So, since the people who own SeaWorld got the license, probably, however long that they have the license. They then uh, pick characters from uh, the show and they make costumes out of it. So what your children are actually seeing isn't the actual character. The actual Muppet that they see on a daily basis is stuffed in a warehouse somewhere until they need it again the next day. So to let these kids know, which I'm pretty sure that the mother and the father isn't watching, but if they are, if the kids are around, Rosita is a fake person or creature that she only exists on TV. And after the person doesn't have their hand up the Muppet's back or what have you, that person goes home to their family and that puppet goes on a shelf somewhere until the next day. All right. Now, let's see what else this family has to say or their lawyer has to say about this.
Calls that bogus. And civil rights activist Tamika Mallory says she expected a park that represents a TV show that's always been committed to diversity to condemn the performer's actions.
That is not what happened. Instead, there was gaslighting and complete disrespect to our...
I don't even want to let her finish. She's already pissed me off with some of the things that she's done with her movement. But this is what I'm not understanding from her. I totally lost what she said, so we're gonna go back a little bit.
Instead, there was gaslighting.
Wait.
That is not what happened.
Well, let me stop there. How do you know what happened? You saw the same video that everyone else did. You've allowed this family to lie to you, so now you're about to be up in arms of Sesame Place, which they probably got it wrong. They're probably saying Sesame Street needs to pay up because these young girls got their feelings hurt. So now they're gonna have to go through some sort of mental thing because of that. I'm not understanding this is one thing I'm not understanding. How is it that, right, that you can say when you weren't there and you're not a lawyer, so I don't understand how you're getting this story misconstrued of some sort. I don't know how, but if so, then Lord forbid that I'm wrong. But how is it that you're basically touting that? And here's her next thing that she says. I'm gonna let her continue.
There was gaslighting and complete disrespect.
Right. What was the gaslighting that happened? The very video I shown, which is right here, it hasn't stopped, is the character slapping hands. Someone says something, right? She says no, 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 or he says no, 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 whoever's in the costume, which makes her move on now. Now, I'm not taking up for the park because I don't work for the park. But something had to be said from the man who walked up to the character, right? So this is what I'm getting right here, right? Everybody's standing behind this yellow line, right? Y'all see the street. It's blue and it looks like it's concrete on the other side, and then it's another yellow line. I believe that they have to stand behind the yellow line or they won't get a high five or whatever, because for some reason, and I'm pretty sure that they said it right before the parade started, excuse me, at all times, please stay behind the yellow line. I believe the man looked like he hopped. Okay. Let's say he reached. You're not supposed to reach or go beyond the yellow line. He looks like the man went beyond the yellow line to shake hands or give a high five, and also the kids did as well. So that's the reason why they were in service with an high five. So what was the gaslighting there? I don't understand. What was, like, I don't understand where there was gaslighting. Tamika, you can share with me what the gaslighting was. I don't. It really doesn't matter to me because I know for sure you're wrong. Let's keep going.
For communities and to our eyes, that somehow we did not see what we saw.
And after a lot more people saw and criticized the video, Sesame Place had more to say, that it's committed to making this right and saying it'll be conducting training for employees. But attorney D'Ivory Lamar says the park should formally apologize directly to the family, fire the performer, and recognize that this could have lasting effects on the children's mental health and cover any related care expenses.
This is not. But why? This is what goes back to what I said in the tweet. Let's go back. And let me enlarge this for you guys. I didn't the first time, so let's do it now. So you see here I say, let me take down the chat for a moment. I'll read it all over again so you guys can see it. This is my tweet. This may come as a shock to many black people and others. I should have said black parents, but hey, whatever. But hold on. But what we see here is not, hold on. But what we see here is parents not taking accountability for their parenting. If you give your children a better sense of their existence and who real role models are, what real role models look like, this wouldn't be news, right? So the main point I want to put it in is accountability and parenting. You're not showing any accountability for the simple fact that if your kids would have known that, life isn't that fair, not everyone gets a trophy for everything that they do. Not everyone is acknowledged in life for the things that they do or the things that they want, then that would be accountability. Of knowing in life I know shit doesn't go my way. This is exactly what I feel as though that Tamika Mallory wants the park to do. Take more accountability. And why should the performer be fired? I'm pretty sure that they have guidelines and they have procedures of what they have to follow when they're performing. I'm pretty sure. So now let's get into the parenting part. You failed at it. You're showing that since your children weren't treated the same as every other kid, then you should be upset and it's time to sue because my kids' feelings was hurt and I don't feel as though that's right. Which you didn't take accountability, right? Sorry. Let me go back. You didn't take accountability. Let me highlight it once more. Right? Accountability for your parenting. That's all that it is. That's all that it is. You didn't get what you wanted, so therefore you're not taking accountability for something you should have been told your child, but They're 4, they wouldn't understand. They're 3, they wouldn't understand. Well, as a parent, become their first teacher, which is parenting. So if you're the first teacher of the child that you had, which you should know, you are the first real role model that your child has. So, if you had all that bundled and on lock, your kids wouldn't be going through this, and this wouldn't be news. I summed it up all in one tweet of how these parents should have actually acted when this went down. But, you know, I'm saying I could be wrong. I don't have to be right on this. I could be wrong.
About money, okay? But they do need to take responsibility and make sure that these girls get the adequate care that they deserve.
The attorney says more evidence is.
Now, this is what I want to understand here. What is the mental health issue that they will go through? By being shunned by their favorite character? Well, that's not the real Rosita. The real Rosita's on a shelf right now. It's the weekend. But that day of, which I believe Rosita has her own show on HBO Max. I believe she's not really a featured character on Sesame Street like that anymore. I believe Sesame Street, or the company or production company that owns Sesame Street, has made spin-offs of certain characters of theirs, such as I believe Elmo has his own show and Rosita has her own show on HBO Max. So why don't you just allow them to have fun in the park and whatever? Like, okay, let me put this on me for a minute. When I was a child, my favorite theme park I like going to was Six Flags. There's a Six Flags in Baltimore or outside of Baltimore, and then there's one in New Jersey. The one that I would frequent a lot as a child, around their ages, was the one that's outside of Baltimore. When I started going to later on as a teenager and as a young adult, was the one in New Jersey. Now, there's Bugs and Daffy and Sylvester and Tweety. You'll see all of them all day, right? You also see people dressed up as Batman, Superman, what have you, Flash, Green Lantern, whatever. But here's the thing. Just like probably at Sesame Place, they also have handlers. So with their handlers, they can't be around everyone all at the same time. They have to keep walking the park, show the character's presence, of which Six Flags licensed from Warner Brothers. And they have to go around and basically just spread happiness around the park. That's their main job. It is not their job to make sure that your child individually feels good about themselves, but all kids feel good about being at the park, and for the parents to spend more money. That's what they're there for. All right. Now let's keep going.
Coming to counter any claims the performer couldn't see the girls, and that he is now investigating claims from dozens of families who've come forward saying they experienced racism at Sesame Place.
But what was the racism?
You really just should have.
That's the next video. I'm gonna get into that in a minute. But that. I don't understand what mental health issues that they will have. What, they won't watch their favorite character anymore because their favorite character shunned them? So that'll send them in some sort of spiral of what? Crime later on? Like, what are you talking about? Like, check this out. as a kid, whatever you liked at 4, you probably won't like at 5. And you probably won't like what you liked at 5 as soon as you turn 6. You know why? It's all a part of growing up. And also, in order for these kids to learn anything before they go off to school, it's the parents' issue to make sure that they're teaching them. So take accountability for your parenting. That's all I really have to say about that video, because it's ridiculous enough that this company had to put out a statement. They have to reprimand now the performer. Like, all of this shit could have been swept under the rug and left alone. This is my issue when it comes to black people. With these police shootings, shit like this, you're worried about what? You spent your money to be at a park. Therefore, the company doesn't give a fuck about your mental issues. They don't care about, your kids' mental health, or they don't really give a fuck about that. They just want to know, is everyone safe at the park? Are they making money? And what was the third thing I said earlier? Make sure everyone, the kids are happy, or everyone's happy. Make sure everyone's safe, and make sure that the park's making money. So they really give a damn about. That's the reason why when you go to theme parks, drinks are like $8. When if you go to the corner store, they're like $1.25. Like, come on now. Like, think for a minute. Anyway, that's enough of that. With this next video, before we get into the show, this has been making its rounds as well. And this video is ridiculous. So I'm going to have my commentary after this 22 seconds is done. Here we go.
Hey, like, you really just should have paid for all our food.
For one, I'm not paying for everybody's food. It's your birthday, cool, but I'm not doing that. It's 18.
Why do you gotta pay for all y'all food though?
You brought 18 friends. I'm finna leave you. You staying here with them, or you coming with me? You are you?
Whoa, bro!
I don't know why his homie was so damn hyped, but she basically, and these are the type of females, fellas, y'all shouldn't really be around, because these type of women that make your hair go gray or make you pull it out. So with this video, right? So the caption says she was mad because he didn't pay for everyone at the table, including her 18 friends. Now, if you're my girlfriend, you can get what you want at any time. And, if you ask for it, I got you. If I don't have it at the time, I still got you. All right? But this is ridiculous. I don't know what this man does for a living. I don't know, what his pockets is looking like, nor do I care. But ladies, be honest with yourself. I know as a boyfriend, you expect your boyfriend to pay for everything. That's fine. All right? That's not out of the ordinary. But one thing I will not do, if it is your birthday and you have your friends coming, and you promise your friends that I will pay for all of you, and you're bringing 18 females with you, when probably only one or two of my friends are coming, I'm not paying for your shit. And why don't they have money in their purses to pay for whatever food that they're getting? Because I'm pretty sure they went to maybe, a fancy restaurant of their choosing, which is the Cheesecake Factory. So, within that fancy restaurant or Red Lobster, y'all choose whatever which one, you know, or Olive Garden, Cheesecake Factory, and Red Lobster in the black community is fancy restaurants. So, with them, or not with them, but with her feeling as though that her boyfriend should pay for their meals is ridiculous. It's real ridiculous. This is why, and I tell you, I'm not fucking them. And if you and if I'm gonna pay for them, you have to tell them they're gonna have to give up the booty, because I know all of them ordered at least 2 or 3 drinks. I know all of them had a lot of food that they're taking home with them so their kids can eat off of it later on once they get in the house. I know that they probably brought her presents and had her open them at the table and all that. Cool. They did their job other than paying for their stuff. Or if this is before dinner, they feel as though that he should pay for their stuff. Because here's their reactions. I'll play this again.
Like, you really just should have paid for all of our food.
For one, I'm not paying for everybody's food. It's your birthday, cool, but I'm not doing that. It's 18.
Why do T gotta pay for all y'all food though?
Y'all see all their reactions once, you know, he said I ain't about to pay for all their food. Why is it that his homeboy is hyper than what he is? Fellas, these ain't the type of friends you should have around you. Because these are the same type of niggas that'll get you beat up. And also, this is the same type of friend you need to look at me like, hey, yo, chill out. I got this. I know what I'm doing. Chill out. Anyway, back to you. Like, I don't need a cheerleader behind me while I'm correcting something that needs to be corrected. I'm not paying for everyone's food here. I'm sorry. You, cool. I got you all day, every day, no problem. But these heifers, fuck no, I ain't paying for them. She don't even like me. So why would I pay for her food? And didn't she talk shit to you the other week about me, and now she's mysteriously here at this goddamn birthday dinner? No, I'm not paying for their food. Get out of here. If you would like me to take you to a nice place like we are now, hey, cool. Get whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. But I will not be paying for everybody else's food here. Joe, am I paying for your food? Hell no, you ain't paying for my food. Why are you so loud? Shut up. Like, I'm not doing it. And this is ridiculous because this is how some of these females, or I would say a lot of these females, are thinking right now. Like, some women aren't even dating now because they have yet to meet their 6-figure man yet. That's the reason why they're probably not dating. They won't date the, local dude that goes to work every day and, has a good job, 401k, he has some plans about himself or what he wants to do in life. No, they want either the thug that motherfucker or the drug dealer, or they want the dude that makes 6 figures, which is only $100,000 or up until you reach $1 million. That's what they want now. So, hey, dude, if you see this and your girl sees this, if this was an act, then you guys got everybody. But to be honest, fellas, stay the fuck away from females like this. Like, you don't need them. Your life would be much better in the long run, and listen to me. It would be much better in the long run, all right? So, with that being said, this video is basically ridiculous, and whoever was involved in that video is also ridiculous. So, moving on to the show. I know you guys have been waiting for this very thing right now. So, people, if you guys haven't heard, I hate to break it to you, but 2 months ago, this very man passed away from a heart attack, cardiac arrest. or cardiac infarctions, as the legal name is. I mean, not the legal name, the medical term is. So, we finally got word this week that Kevin Samuels died of hypertension. Hypertension riddles the black community a lot. Without further ado, I give to you this very video right here.
Buzz Your Brain brings you latest news around the world. Subscribe now. The cause of death for Kevin Samuels, 57, was determined to be hypertension, ruling out any potentially suspicious circumstances. Samuels died from hypertension, or high blood pressure, according to the autopsy report on his death that was just issued by the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office. Demise states that having thicker than normal heart chambers is evidence of hypertension. Given that Demise mentions in their findings that the drug is used to manage hypertension, it indicates Samuels was also taking atenolol. Samuels was pronounced dead from natural causes. According to TMZ, Samuels, who was well known for his contentious and occasionally inappropriate dating counsel, passed away in May. Samuels passed away in his house while in the company of an unknown woman. We were able to listen to the 911 call the woman made, and it was obvious that she was doing everything in her power to attempt to save Samuel's life by performing CPR. The medical examiner's findings show that Kevin's death was not suspicious, despite earlier social media speculation to the contrary.
All right, so you heard that it wasn't from suspicious means, it was from cardiac arrest or a heart attack due by hypertension. So, with that being said, on Monday, the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed Samuels died as a result of hypertension, which eliminates any possible suspicions surrounding the 57-year-old's death, TMZ reports. Evidence of hypertension includes a heart whose chambers are thicker than normal. Medical examiner noted it was natural causes that led to Samuel's passing, not foul play. Hypertension, also known as high blood pressure, is a known silent killer and considered a major cause of premature death worldwide. In the black community, our diet that we eat, it's a lot of black people who have hypertension. So, yeah, man, like it's messed up that he had to die so early. You know what I'm saying? Because, to be honest, I would say, and I normally probably would never say something like this, but I would say Kevin's words helped a lot of his audience members. I would say, I guess, I don't know. I only listened to Kevin for a month. I told that story with various times I've talked about. I only watched him for a month. That whole month, I saw that his show was basically the same every time I watched it. Like, as far as like his topics that he talked about, same things. So I was okay. I don't need to watch this because I don't feel as though that I'm getting anything out of it. So I'll leave it to the rest of his audience members who do watch it. And this is before he had 1 million followers. I was watching. So, you know, I checked it up as a loss and I kept it moving. So, also it says, according to the World Health Organization, approximately 1.28 billion adults between the ages of 30 to 79 years old worldwide have hypertension, and nearly half of them are unaware that they have the condition. Per the organization's website, hypertension is known to cause serious heart damage. And can lead to a range of symptoms from chest pain to irregular heartbeat to heart attack and stroke. The controversial social media star headlines when he passed away on Cinco de Mayo while hanging out with a younger woman. Many were suspicious about this many were suspicious about his cause of death. I think I said death anyway. And if there were signs of foul play, Yahoo reports. The woman he was with was identified as Hortensia Alcantara in a Thursday, May 5th police report filled out by Officer K. Figueroa at the Atlanta Police Department. Let's see. Alcantara works as a nurse by occupation and told police she had just met Samuels the night before his death and spent the evening with him. She claims the next morning Samuels complained of chest pain and she attempted to help him. However, Samuels was too weak and collapsed, which prompted her to call 911. As a nurse, Alcantara knew, Alcantara knew to tell the dispatcher to contact the the concierge, and get a defibrillator brought to the apartment. She was able to revive him to a responsive state. Until other medical professionals arrived and took him to Piedmont Hospital. The speculation of wrongdoing became so severe that Alcantara ended up speaking out to defend her name. It's crazy how complete strangers try to hurt your character. Believe it or not, there are still good-hearted people in this cruel world. The woman reported to be the last person with Samuels wrote in an Instagram story post. Unbelievable to think I have to clear my name for doing the right thing, she continued. Let me find a lawyer and make these people take all this mess down. My family and close friends know I'm a good person. People are evil, but sending love. That was the last thing that she said. Since then, we haven't heard from her, but it's I guess it's for the best that we haven't heard from her, because she did nothing wrong. She just tried to help him, revived him to a responsive state, made sure he was comfortable before the ambulance and first responders came to get him on the gurney, get him to the emergency room so they could further make sure if anything else was wrong. And they did so because they did, but at the time of him getting to the hospital, he then passed away, which is unfortunate because he was only 57 years young, and I'm pretty sure he had many more years to teach his audience whatever he feels though is the right thing for them to do with their lives. So, you guys don't know the exact thing that happened. I'm going to recap it for you, all right? So, here's the recap of events that led up to Kevin Samuels' death. All right? And here we go. Sorry.
The house or apartment?
Oh my god, I fucking know it's Kevin Samuels.
You don't know if it's a house or apartment?
Oh, it's an apartment.
Okay, what's the apartment number?
I know. I just need to give him CPR. Just please, just ask for
You need an ambulance?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you listening?
Hold on, ma'am. I have to connect you with the ambulance.
It's Kevin fucking.
Now I can tell you, this dispatcher is very rude, like very rude. I understand you're trying to get certain information out of her, so you can then tell the dispatcher for the ambulance, which I'm pretty sure y'all work in the same area. So I'm pretty sure that with her rudeness, that she couldn't then, like it was a lot of things going on with this call. Number one, you got what's her name again? Orcontencia trying to tell the dispatcher exactly what's going on, but at the same time trying to work on Kevin. She's trying to revive this man, and at the same time, she's trying to talk to you. Now, it's ridiculous for this fact right here. Well, it's not really a fact, it's just my opinion. But this is the funny part. As this woman is trying to save this man's life, it's another woman on the other line that is very impatient. How can you be impatient at a job that makes you or needs for you to have patience while getting to a patient? Now, this is crazy. She's trying to revive this man, get him trying to see exactly what's wrong with them. So as she's on the phone with 911, she can then tell them what is actually wrong with him, so he can focus on his breathing, focus on staying up and staying alert, so he can respond to Alcantara, and at the same time have her tell them exactly what's going on. But since she's not at that point yet, she needs for the person that's on the other side of this phone to be more patient so she can then get the correct information. Because this is one thing that I found that was very messed up for the dispatcher. The woman didn't know where the hell she was at. She just knew that she was in some sort of building. She just knew that. Because I'm pretty sure the night before, it was Cinco de Mayo, the night that they met. Cinco de Mayo, I'm pretty sure she had a couple drinks along with Kevin Samuels, probably had a few drinks as well. So I'm pretty sure she wasn't paying attention to, with the drive to Kevin's high-rise apartment, I'm pretty sure she wasn't paying attention to where the hell they were going. So, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't know I'm in an apartment. The apartment number is this. It's on this street. She didn't know any of that information. So how can you be impatient with someone that doesn't know the information that you are asking? This is ridiculous. Now, maybe I'm making an outlandish point for the simple fact that people make outlandish points about police, like, well, he didn't even have to shoot him like that. Y'all ain't have to beat him like that. Maybe I'm making that sort of comment. I don't know. Y'all let me know. But I will say this. Good thing that Alcantara got him responsive to the fact that she knew that he was still with us and before the ambulance got there. Let's continue.
Samuel, I understand, but I have to connect you with the ambulance.
Are you okay?
Yeah, man. Yeah, is he awake?
No, he has an irregular rhythm. I can feel it. He's breathing in and out, but he has an irregular rhythm. It's probably his heart. So he need you to get here with the fucking. Stop him. Come on, Kelly, you got it. Come on, just try to breathe. Come on, you got it. Come on, think about your mom. Think about your daughter. Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1,
I'm sorry.
2, 3.
Now the dude on the opposite end wasn't helping. The EMS dispatcher, he wasn't helping. Now, although this is a cut up portion of the 911 call. If you guys want to hear the exact 911 call, you can either search it, or I can find whatever video that I spoke about this on, and I can put it right up here in the card section. So, let's continue.
On the front desk to get an AED. He's not going to make it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But man, I don't want you to disconnect. Something can happen while you disconnect now.
Again, but I'm saying I need an AED. If they have one downstairs, I need to get them up here now.
Are you able
So
to speak to your neighbor, ma'am? Real
I'm
quick,
gonna
and
hang
ask
up
them
with
to help
you.
you?
I'm gonna hang up with you, or you call them in the front desk. Give me a fucking AED right here now.
Now, she was patient.
Tasha K.
She was patient. Sorry, that's my next story that I got for y'all. That's not right now. But it's coming up. It's coming up soon. But this is what I will say with this. It is unfortunate that he died. It's unfortunate that the dispatchers were being very impatient with someone that's trying to save someone's life and also trying to give you the same information. Some say you can't occupy the same space with a lot of things at the same time. Some people can't multitask. Hey, comes with the territory. You may not be able to. But I will say this. Had the dispatchers would have been a little more patient, they would have got all the information that they could. Even like if you listen to the full audio of the call, which I believe is like 23 minutes or something like that. This woman, they was trying to get her to get up from him, go check the door number, and then come back. I don't understand why they would want her to do that. If she's saying he has an irregular heartbeat and he's not breathing, every second is important when something's going on like that. Every second's important. So why would they want her to get up, go to the door? Oh, we're in apartment 505. Come back, come back to Kevin, and then try to revive him all over again. When she's already in the rhythm of giving him chest compressions, breathing in his mouth so he can get some air. Like, what are we saying here? What is going on? I feel as though that, let's say that the ambulance had like a 7-minute response time to get to the apartment building, right? They're now still wasting time for this reason. They're trying to figure out what the apartment number is, what street is the building on, as well as she's asking them, could you please call the concierge desk and have them bring up a defibrillator to me because I need it. It's of the essence. I'm a nurse. I know what I'm doing. I've done this plenty times before. Right? Check this out. While all this is being reported, right? Around the time when this was being reported, 2 months ago, right? This is what the black community gives us. Mainly the distraught black women who watched his shit and got angry every time, or the women who was on a show that felt some type of way, or hosts of a show which a few of their co-hosts said very messed up and derogatory things about this man, even to the point to where they said that they're glad that he died. Not only that, they made fun of the woman, which I don't understand why that happened. They made fun of the woman that he was with because they went with what he said. Get yourself a woman. I forgot the heights that he was saying and the waist that he was saying. But then they say, well, we saw a picture of her and she don't look the way that he describes of how women should look. And it's like, well, I understand what you're saying, but the girl that they said of the picture that was floating around, that wasn't even her. But that girl that was floating around, she looked pretty damn good to me. I don't understand what the fuck they talking about. Maybe in Kevin's case, he believed the perfect woman was the height and weight that he said. Maybe the ideal woman for him is that. But the girl that they had that was floating around, and we still don't know if that's the girl or not. But that girl was pretty good. Was pretty good looking. I would date her. I like, well, myself personally, I like thick girls, so whatever. But to recap all of this, I'll give you guys a little snippet of what I said the last time I spoke on this. Is YouTuber and dating guru Kevin Samuels has died age 57 after suffering from chest pains, report says. Police were called to the resident Buckhead, Atlanta, an upscale apartment complex after a 911 call later identified as Hortensia Alcantara, 32, reported a person injured when Atlanta police officer Joel Figueroa arrived at the residence. An EMS worker was observed performing CPR to a black male who was unresponsive on the floor of his apartment. Alcantara later identified the male to be Samuels. Alcantara, a nurse, told police she met Samuels the night before and had spent the night with him. Early in the month, Samuels reportedly started experiencing chest pains, and she attempted to help him, but he fell on top of her. She requested a defibrillator from the front desk to keep Mr. Samuels responsive until EMS arrived. He was transferred to Piedmont Hospital, where he died. Samuel's mother said she discovered her son had died after seeing it on social media. That was a terrible thing for social media to put that out. Sorry, I didn't even know. She told NBC News on May, whatever, I forgot what day. I hadn't even been notified. All I'm doing is requesting that people pray for us. She declined to release any more details about her son's death. Samuels was best known for his controversial dating advice. Kevin Samuels made a career off of shamelessly disgracing black women for profit. I don't know if that's really true or not, but whatever. He emboldened the most toxic individuals to project tired and harmful narratives about black women. He also self-proclaimed himself an image consultant and offered services exclusively to men who want to upgrade on their appearance. His services included shopping, grooming, and helping great guys look and feel their best. His website said. His longtime friend Melody King said, got family confirmation about his death. Speculators said what caused the cardiac arrest was fentanyl-laced cocaine. Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office has determined the cause of death as a heart attack. So that's what we got. That's how Mr. Kevin Samuels went out, and I believe with his following that he's going to be missed by them. So I don't know. He'll be missed. All right. So moving on. So if you guys don't know, you guys don't remember, Miss Tasha K and Cardi B had a 2-year spout. All right. All started when Tasha K told lies about about Cardi B's medical history and certain diseases that she had or had contracted within the time of her, I don't know, being famous, I guess. It all turned out to be false because within court proceedings, Cardi B had to give that information to the court, which turned out to be false, which made Tasha K look stupid. And the things that she said about Cardi B are ridiculous as well. Well, Tasha K has lost her appeal with Miss Cardi B, and this is how it happened.
YouTube vlogger was unsuccessful in getting the $4 million defamation lawsuit judgment against Cardi B overturned. Tasha was forced to pay Cardi B about $4 million in damages after losing the lawsuit because she harmed the rapper's reputation by posting false information about her on Tasha's YouTube channel. Additionally, Tasha was told to take the videos down from her YouTube page. Tasha, whose true name is Tasha K, submitted documents to the 11th.
This Tasha K, this auto speak thing, whatever, it gets things wrong.
Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals last month. Tasha K's appeal was rejected on Friday due to a lack of jurisdiction. As a result, Cardi's attorneys may submit paperwork to the sheriff's office to garnish Tasha's wages and confiscate her personal belongings, including her house, cars, furniture, stocks, and bonds to satisfy the debt. Tasha and her family have already moved out of their Lawrenceville, Georgia home and downsized to an apartment. The 5-bedroom, 4-bath, 5,000 square feet home has a full basement and backs up to the Collins Hill Golf Course. According to Zillow, the couple bought the house in June 2020 for $380,000.
Ooh, goddamn. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. That has to hurt. You only had the house for 2 years? 2 years? Probably not even 2 years yet, because who knows when they bought the house. But damn. You basically gave your house away, basically, with the foolishness you did on the internet. Wow.
Listed the home on July 3rd for $5,000 a month rent.
So it has been 2 years. Or no. Hold on, let me back up.
July 3rd for $5,000 a month. They listed the home on July. The couple bought the house in June 2020 for $380,000.
So it has been 2 years and some change, and you're now watching your house slip away from you. Damn.
They listed the home on July 3rd for $5,000 a month rent. Before listing the house, Tasha sold the home to her husband, who is now the sole owner.
So wait, hold on. I would think that their finances are one, and their assets is all one as well. So how is it that she sold the house to her husband, right? Wouldn't his name already be on said information? Hey, I don't know. I've never bought a house before, so maybe they can do that. I don't know. Because I thought the LLC. Now this is where she fucked up at. She should have bought the house underneath an LLC, because then that separates her own money from her business money. So, Tasha, next time you and your husband buy a house, that LLC that y'all got, Kiwi Productions or whatever the hell it's called, or Kiwi Media, put it underneath of that instead of your own name.
Join us same place, same channel for your.
Okay. Damn. Well, anyway, YouTube vlogger Tasha K has lost her appeal against Cardi B's $4 million defamation lawsuit, according to a news outlet. The appeal dismissal order was based on a procedural issue, not on the substance of our brief. Tasha was reached by a news outlet to confirm the judgment, and she says, "You are correct in stating that we will refile as soon as the district court enters a final judgment." She said, "We've been in contact with the district court, and the order will be entered any day now." That basically was her appeal or whatever. So please let me know if you have any other questions for me at this time. Tasha's attorneys filed an appeal in U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit in June. That's in Georgia. Arguing that Judge William Ray had erroneously ignored evidence about Cardi B, resulting in New York's legal victory in January, according to Billboard. But this is one thing that they got messed up, right? It's not that he ignored evidence. It's probably that none of the evidence stood. So let's say on Cardi B's on Cardi B's medical history, it did state that she did have some sort of STD, STI, some sort of sexual transmitted virus or something, right? If whatever she claimed was right, then why would they submit that in for evidence? Well, they would submit it in for evidence, but they probably wouldn't even go over the evidence. He probably wouldn't even look at the evidence, because it's like, okay, well, I saw the evidence. It says that she did have it. You said she had it. I don't think we need to go over that. We need to go over all the other shit that you said about this woman that has nothing to do with anything that you said in this video, which they subpoenaed all of her videos that she spoke about Cardi B. And then when she lost, asked her to take those down. But since they went into appeal, she didn't have to do it right away. But now, since she lost the appeal, she does have to take those down. Excuse me. And she's also getting taken away from her house and whatever. Which would look like a beautiful house if that was the actual house. Beautiful, looked like a beautiful ass house. And you let that slip away from some bullshit you said on the internet? Man, get out of here. However, the court sided with Cardi B, dismissing Tasha's case without jurisdiction and permitting the rumors artist to have her lawyers in the sheriff's office authorize the garnishment of Tasha's wages and personal assets to fulfill judgment. Wait a minute. I'm supposed to be in a certain place at this point, sir. So here we go.
Okay, I'm gonna let you guys get in here. I just broke the story on Twitter. I would have broken it earlier, but I was doing an interview. I want you guys to save it. I'm not saving it live, but I'm gonna break the story. Within the last hour, the District Court of Georgia once again ruled in favor of Cardi B. Tasha K has lost her appeal against Cardi B. The District Court in Georgia has ruled that Tasha K appeal against Cardi B is lost. So those tuning in, they would probably wonder, what does this mean? What does this appeal loss mean to Cardi B as well as Tasha K? Basically, any stay that was in place, meaning if Cardi wanted to seize assets, that couldn't happen while this appeal was in the process. But because the appeal has been lost, Cardi B is now free to go after Tasha K's assets. There's no stay in place anymore. The case is to a conclusion. And there's a 99.9% chance that a court, the U.S. Supreme Court, wouldn't even pick up this case. There you have it. So I did see Cardi's name being mentioned in the blogger's post, but she, at the time she was mentioning Cardi's name, she didn't know that the district court was going to rule against her. And I don't know if it's karma that this happened on a Friday after Cardi was once again being attacked, but the court's ruled. The court has ruled. So now, Cardi can do what she wants as it relates to collecting her assets, whatever assets she wants.
All right. So, you heard it there, that Cardi B can basically garnish all assets that she wishes, because it was found out in appeals court that everything that she had going on that she had going on with the case, lost it all, all assets, houses, cars. I'm pretty sure the business would be safe. But yeah, so it also says Tasha, whose real name is Tasha K, allegedly placed her home up for rent and moved into an apartment. Now, y'all know I got that information too. Like, why y'all fucking with that? It says in this Twitter post that hashtag Tasha K has secretly put her home up for rent. Cardi B via Armand Wiggins show. So let me get this volume going, and then here we go. All right, I had to check the volume, so here we go.
So she's not losing her home, okay? So, but she is not on the deed any longer. I thought she wasn't on there in the first place, but apparently they were both on the deed. She sold it to Shekna, and now he's the sole owner of the home. Now, this could be great now, but the home is up for rent. I just don't understand that. Perhaps maybe the home is up for rent because they are getting into real estate. Like, it's not all bad. Maybe they are, I don't know. Maybe they're getting.
Armand, quit the bullshit. She has to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She has to get her wages garnished, and she also has to anything that can settle the debt. So that's assets. It's any money that's even in your bank. So she might have to file a Chapter 11. She has to, anything that she makes off of YouTube, as well as products sold, whatever ads she has to go to Cardi B. Not a little bit of it, not some of it, all of it. She owes $4 million. She said long time ago, and I spoke about this as well in the beginning, when it first started, the court. Well, when the court case ended, I talked about it, and she basically said that they will have their day in court. They will have their day in appeals. She said in her video that after all this was done, she said that she's gonna take it all the way to the Supreme Court and all of this. Well, God took him to the Georgia Georgia Appeals Court, and it basically went the same way that it did in the actual court case, federal court case at that. But check this out. With that being said, with her having to pay all this money out, who knows how long it'll take her to pay all this stuff off? Because she has at least, 2 years worth of videos that she has to delete, and that's by court order. She has to do that. And also, I believe if she hasn't already done it, she has to do it. Armand's talking about, well, maybe they're getting into real estate. Nah, nope. All of that's going to the very thing that she has to do, which is pay up or shut up.
Because they are getting into real estate. Like, it's not all bad. Maybe they are, I don't know. Maybe they're getting into real estate. It's up on the Zillow website for about $5,000. Okay. They were saying that the mortgage for their property is $1,700. So minus that would leave a profit of over $3,300, something like that. You guys do the.
Well, it's probably listed at $5,000 because they're probably going to pay that $4 million in installments, with over the past however long it takes for $5,000 to be paid. I mean, $4 million to be paid off. Let's do the math. Well, hold on. I'll let this finish and then we'll do the math.
The math, I don't know, somewhere around that area, right? And so perhaps, Tasha K is using this as an income property. Pay that off here, and then she'll pay for whatever apartment she's in now. Or maybe Tasha K is just some real estate guru now.
All right, so this is done. I'm drawing the blank. How many decimal points is $4 million? That's what I'm having trouble on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hope I'm right. Let's see. $4 million has 9 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Divided by 5,000. Shit. Damn. It's gonna take her 80,000 installments to pay $4 million off. Let's divide it by 12 years. 12 months to see how long it'll take her in years to pay that off. I don't even think that's right. Let's do that over. Shit. Let's do that over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 divided by 5,000. 80,000 divided by 12. Man, I'm getting basically 66,666 and it's a whole bunch of zeros. Basically it's like 7 6 like whatever 0.7. The number I just said, 66,666.7, basically. I don't even think that's right, but hey, let's just say it's gonna take her a long fucking time if that's how she's gonna pay in installments.
I'm going to tell you about fair use.
It's the law. It's ridiculous.
Federal law allows.
Well, let's hope that's not how long it takes. My math is probably off. Well, my math is off because I know that wouldn't take that long of a time to do that. But yeah. Anyway, so yet the scandalous pop culture pundit has not learned her lesson, as she recently criticized Australian rapper Iggy Azalea's cooking chops. I had a Twitter screenshot of this, of what she said. I just don't know where the hell it went. Let me find it on the internet. One second. All right, so the tweet says, whenever I can find it. Okay, here it is, right here. I'll enlarge it. Let me take the chat off. So her tweet says this: Tasha, watch your mouth and definitely keep my son's name out of it. I certainly do have that good lawyer money. Don't get sued again. You have rent to pay, baby. That's what she said to her. If you don't know, Iggy is basically a popular pop rapper right now, and I'm pretty sure she is getting that good lawyer money. So, it's the crazy thing. I think it all came to because Azalea issued a warning shot to disgrace podcaster. The rapper wrote on Twitter, according to All New Hip Hop. So I showed you guys the tweet. So this is the mess basically that she's trying to get into. Because I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, that Iggy Azalea and Tory Lanez are friends. I'm not going to say if they're in a relationship or not. All I'm saying is that they're friends. That's all I know, is that they're friends. So Iggy Azalea drags Tasha K for her commentary. So Tasha K has made enemies with Cardi B, and now it seems she wants all the smoke with Iggy Azalea. The vlogger recently chimed in on Iggy Azalea's oxtail dish that went viral in Tory Lanez recent comments. The Canadian singer's comments were the closest thing to an acknowledgement of the dating rumors swirling around the internet in the past few weeks. Tasha K took the brief comments and launched a whole narrative surrounding Tory and Iggy. She claimed that Iggy was leaving her child Onyx at home to hang out with Tory Lanez before alleging that the Australian rapper fixed Tory Lanez a plate before her child. It didn't take too long for Iggy to come for Tasha K. Iggy issued a Iggy issued a series of tweets where she dragged Tasha K for trying to stir up drama and suggesting that the vlogger could potentially face another lawsuit. And once again, it reads, Tasha, watch your mouth and definitely keep my son's name out of it. I certainly do have that good lawyer money and don't get sued again. You have rent to pay, baby, she wrote. In response to Tasha K's claim about feeding Tory before Onyx, Iggy quickly explained that she doesn't bring men around her child. Firstly, this is Iggy talking. Firstly, why would I be fixing my son oxtail? It's spicy and not something a 2-year-old would eat. Secondly, she said, I don't bring men around my child, she said. Lastly, why are you even talking about any of this? Because I cooked food. So that's what Iggy had to say. So let's just say that she didn't learn her lesson, and Iggy takes her to court for this bullshit, and she'll be owing more millions of dollars because obviously her big ass mouth can't keep closed, and it shows. So what I have to say to Tasha K is, got rent to pay, baby. Oh shit. Okay, so moving on. Last story of the night. This is sad. I want to big up one person real fast for bringing this to my attention. So, a YouTuber that I frequent, the GMS show, brought this to my attention. I believe it was Wednesday night. So, shout out to the GMS show for bringing this to my attention. And people, this is what's going on with this whole Dave Chappelle thing. 1 second. This is what's going on.
Dave Chappelle show canceled by Minnesota venue hours before gig following criticism. Dave Chappelle Minneapolis performance canceled after the closer backlash. Dave Chappelle was set to perform a stand-up comedy routine on Wednesday night at First Avenue in Minneapolis, but the show was canceled at the last minute following backlash. Chappelle has been at the center of controversy over his Netflix program, The Closer. The Dave Chappelle show tonight at First Avenue has been canceled and is moving to the Varsity Theater, the announcement said. To staff, artists, and our community, we hear you and we are sorry. We know we must hold ourselves to the highest standards, and we know we let you down. We are not just a black box with people in it, and we understand that First Ave is not just a room, but meaningful beyond our walls. The trio of performances in Minnesota was first announced on Monday, and tickets to the first show sold out in a matter of minutes on Tuesday. But some fans of the popular downtown venue voiced their opinions against the comedian, ultimately leading to the cancellation of the show. The First Avenue team and you have worked hard to make our venues the safest spaces in the country, and we will continue with that mission, the statement continued. We believe in diverse voices and the freedom of artistic expression, but in honoring that, we lost sight of the impact this would have. We know there are some who will not agree with this decision. You're welcome to send feedback. In The Closer, Chappelle discussed controversies surrounding gender identity and has continued to defend his right to artistic freedom despite heavy backlash. A rep for Chappelle did not immediately respond to Fox News Digital's request for comment.
All right. So, this story within itself is nuts. And here's why. There's basically no good reason why they should be protesting them. All because of, and he said it himself, Dave Chappelle said it himself, that if you don't like what is said, you don't have to watch. That's exactly what he said. And there is no real reason. There is no real reason for them to be acting the way that they are. And this is what's going on out there with the protests. I should save it until I get to the next part because I feel as though that it's newsworthy. So yeah, Dave Chappelle was set to perform a stand-up comedy routine Wednesday night at First Avenue in Minneapolis. First Avenue is a very historical place because number one, Prince played there. He would play there frequently when he was developing and making new music, and when he would present it to a city, he wanted to get their reactions to see if the song is good enough. Now, I'm pretty sure in Minneapolis everybody loved Prince, but at the same time, he still did what he had to do. Basically, was his due diligence of, let me take this song that I have and present it to the people. So, but the show was canceled at the last minute following backlash. Chappelle has been at the center of controversy over his Netflix program, The Closer. The Dave Chappelle show tonight at First Avenue has been canceled and is moving to the Varsity Theater, the announcement said. But this is what the announcement actually said. Swap. So, I'll enlarge this for you guys. Alright, full thing. It says, the Dave Chappelle show tonight at First Avenue has been canceled and is moving to the Varsity Theater. To staff, artists, and our community, we hear you, and we are sorry. We know we must hold ourselves to the highest standards, and we know we let you down. We are not just a black box with people in it, and we understand that First Avenue is not just a room, but meaningful beyond our walls. The First Avenue team and you have worked hard to make our venues the safest spaces in the country, and we will continue with that mission. We believe in diverse voices and the freedom of artistic expression, but this is where they fuck up, and this is where that they lie, because this is why. This very line, we believe in diverse voices and the freedom of artistic expression. That's exactly what Dave is doing on that stage. He's a diverse voice. He's a black male or a black man. And also, what his comedy is the freedom of artistic expression. So basically, you canceled the man for the exact reason that you said your walls are up for. I'm not understanding now. Let's keep going. But in honoring that, we lost sight of the impact this would have. We know there are some who will not agree with this decision. You are welcome to send feedback. If you are a ticket holder, look for an email with information on your tickets transferring to the show at Varsity Theater. So that's what they had to say. So, this is what I have to say. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. These fools are out there protesting about something that they didn't even watch. They didn't even watch the damn. They never watched The Closer. These are probably the only two specials that they watched. The first two that came to Netflix, and that was like way back in 2017, I believe, not 2018. Yeah, either 2017, if not 2018, when those first two specials came out. I believe it was between 2016 to 2017 when the first two came out. A year went by, and then he came out with the second one. Now, and that's where I believe where they got all bent out of shape, because he brought up what's her name, Caitlyn Jenner. Who else? And that's it, really. He brought up Caitlyn Jenner. So let me see. I read that already. The trio of performances in Minnesota was first announced on Monday, and tickets to the first show sold out in a matter of minutes. Tuesday, but some fans of the popular downtown venue voiced their opinions against the comedians, ultimately leading to the cancellation of the show. The First Avenue team and you have worked hard to make our venue safe. Well, I said that stuff already. Anyway, in the closer, Chappell discussed controversies surrounding gender identity and has continued to defend his rights to artistic freedom despite the heavy backlash. And guess what? That he compared that to when he was talking about it, to the African American experience here in this country. So basically, he was making a statement of similarities of which we have. Some people would disagree with his observation, like myself, but I understand where he was trying to go with it. So you guys are upset. Why? Let's keep going. First Avenue's Twitter feed was bombarded with comments denouncing the decision to allow the comedian to perform after announcing Chappelle's new show. Some cited the club's code of conduct as enough reason not to book Chappelle. The following behavior is not welcome at First Avenue's venues: acting or speaking in a discriminatory manner, or using racist, sexist, ableist, transphobic, homophobic, xenophobic, or other biased language, including intentional misgendering, the policy states. Read these comments. Twitter user at I guess it's Elegant, wrote people at a specific historic moment in which those actual people's actual lives are in actual danger, even more than usual. This person needs to quit using actual. But I will address this person's tweet though, because we hear this a lot, and we heard this with, and I don't know if you guys watched this, but I suggest you do. So the U.S. Senate held a hearing, right? I believe it was around like abortions, right? So one of the panelists that they brought in was a professor, and I believe she works either at New York University or whatever the other one's called. That's in New York. I can't remember. That's in New York City, but I can't remember it. Well, basically, matter of fact, I'd rather just play the damn video. How about that? That makes more sense. Senate hearing about abortions. And it's right here.
You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hall.
Now, the question what he's about to ask didn't garner the reaction that it did. Here we go.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow, you're saying that I'm open.
How? How does that, the question of which he's asking, along with Dave Chappelle going up on stage, basically saying, "Yo, I'm with y'all, the trans movement, gay movement, whatever. I'm with y'all. I freaking believe that y'all can be whatever the fuck y'all want to be." Because it's your choice and it's your right. That's what Dave is saying, right? But he also said this. Y'all can't deny the fact that this shit ain't funny. Like, come on now. This shit is fucking hilarious. And he says it in the fucking, the show. I believe it was either in Sticks and Stones, where he was like, motherfucker just coming to you like, yo, I'm trying to cut my penis off. Come on, nigga, Wu-Tang, bow. Like, this, like, how does him asking you, right, about abortions, him asking, well, so you're saying this isn't really about women, essentially, is what you're saying, right? She says, well, I believe your line of questioning is transphobic, and it can harm it can get someone harmed. How? I'm only asking a fucking question. Along with what Dave Chappelle's saying. He's only talking about the group because he sees similarities between the trans movement and the African American experience here in this country. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, they really don't listen to contextual words, nor do they listen to context as well. Because I could basically say whatever Dave says, and then I could be canceled for that. Why? Because I have my own personal thoughts about your guys' plight in this country and in the world, and how ridiculous y'all look. That's the men who want to be women and the women who want to be men. Y'all look fucking ridiculous. And you're scaring the kids. Like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? Now, I'm going to let this play out a little bit more. Because you'll see how this group don't listen to anybody. The very freedom of speech of what we have is exactly what they're eroding in this fucking country. We can't say shit about these motherfuckers. And if we say something good about them, it still garners the same fucking response. There we go.
People to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning. So we can't talk about it.
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist.
I'm denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women.
Are you?
Now, hold on. I'm gonna play that back a little bit.
Denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies.
Do you believe that?
Did you hear her not allow him to make his point? Are you? Look, lady, I'm trying to figure this out with y'all. This is the reason why we brought you here. We want to know, because of this decision that just happened, that the Supreme Court basically passed back to the people as respective representatives. I want you guys to go back and listen to that. Where am I at? 205. I remember that. And I'll put that very video up in the cards. Now, he's trying to ask you, how does this line of questioning garner a response of violence to the trans community? Her response was, well, it's because you're not making as though as they exist. I didn't say that. I said, I asked you a question. You brought up trans people, which they don't belong in this conversation at all, other than the trans men, because they can get pregnant because anatomically they're women, so they can be pregnant. So, with that being said, how is my questioning basically garnering fucking violence against them? Well, they commit suicide. Well, that's a violent act that they commit on themselves, not someone who commits on them. That's what they do. But let's talk about suicide for a minute, right? Dave Chappelle brought up a friend of his. The name was Daphne, a trans woman. A man who decided, after all, you know what? I really feel like a woman. Like, I don't want to be a man anymore. So he went through the process. And then he became a she, and we now call her Daphne. Well, we did call her Daphne. Because Daphne committed suicide because all of the fuck shit her community did to her by supporting Dave Chappelle. Y'all see how ridiculous this shit sounds? Although they want to be protected by speech, they'll take that same speech and harm someone with it to the point to where the person don't want to go through life anymore, to where they fucking commit suicide. But the shit doesn't make any sense. This is why I posed the question. I won't bring the tweet up, but y'all can go to my Twitter account, Marcus Speaks Productions at Marcus Speaks 25. Go to is kind of your first couple scrolls down. It says, I believe it says. Well, I'd rather read it instead of trying to think about what the hell it says, because that. Let's see what it says. So my comment on this was this. I said, this week Congress met with several women to talk about abortions. Howley asked the question to this professor about abortions, and she went on an entire different direction with her answer. So my question is, can women with XX or XY chromosomes get an abortion? Now, y'all may be asking, well, Marcus, why the hell did you bring up women with XY chromosomes? We all know that that's a man. When you get into the science with these people, they shut the fuck down. That's the reason why I brought that up. Bring the science into it. This is the very same science that says that, hey, there is no gender, right? When you put their science against them, they erupt and they explode, and they have nothing to say other than you're committing violence against trans people. But wait a minute. This science is what I'm actually asking you, because you'll tell me that scientifically there is no gender. That's what you would tell me. And you would also say that anatomically now, since they went through a procedure, that they are now a woman. So now I'm asking you, can women who have XX and or XY chromosomes get an abortion. I'm only asking for a friend. Now, I'll let Senator Howley continue.
Men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think so.
So you are denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence. Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you, or are they
Absolutely.
also treated like this, where
No,
they're
they're
told
allowed
that
to
they're
question.
opening up people to
Oh,
violence?
We have a good
by
time in my
questioning.
class. You should join.
I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot
I
just from this
know.
exchange.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary.
I didn't mean to click on that video, but y'all understand what I'm talking about. That response did not, that question did not garner that response at all. The way she acted in that fucking hall at the Senate, it didn't need that at all. It didn't. Because for her to basically trying to say that he, not Dave, but that Senator Howley basically is garnering a response. Not garnering a response. Is that his line of questioning is basically garnering violence against trans people. How? How, Sway? He's only asking, this question basically was, please tell me where we got this wrong at. Or tell us where we can fix the problem about abortion. Her whole response was, well, you didn't include trans people. You don't what she say? You're saying that trans people don't exist. Well, that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is this about women, or is this about any person who believes that they can be a woman? This is what I'm asking. I want to know, so if we go into deliberation about this shit, we can then bring up these points to then we can say yay or nay to whatever law that we come to that talks about this. That's what I need to know. So when I go to my respective state, to my respective underlings, I'm only saying underlings, so I don't know what the hell those people will be called, or my other Senate members in my respective state, and when the governor's there, we can all collaborate and be like, okay, well, this is what I learned from that meeting I was at when we held that hearing. This is what I feel as though that we should do. But no. He got an entire 180 of some shit that he didn't need to hear. But, that's the response that they're giving. And this is this very same thing that they're doing to Dave right now. Why? It makes no fucking sense why they're sitting there talking about, oh, well, he's transphobic because he talks about trans people. What? As far as what I understand, I'm pretty sure Dave understands this as well. Gay people got equal rights. Within those equal rights, this now allows us, this happened with handicapped people back in either 1989 or if not 1990 when they got their equal rights as well. Guess what? Handicapped people want you to do so they can feel included. They want you to make jokes about them. You know why? Because they don't want you to look at their disability as, key point, as a hindrance of talking about them. They want you to include them into the fuckery that is comedy. They want them to. So why is it that now, with this group, that they don't want anybody to talk about them? Because it garners violence against them? How? Y'all let me know how this can, garner violence against them. Because I'm confused. Let me keep going. So, the context matters, the person said as well, or at least it should. Seriously. That's what Elegant wrote. So let me go over Elegant's tweet again. It says, "You're platforming someone who is deliberately choosing to target trans people at a specific historic moment in which those actual people's actually lives are in actual danger, even more than usual. The context matters, or at least it should. Seriously, there's a reason you're announcing it this late. Not really. He probably announced it late because he knew, it was probably like a spur of the moment thing. He probably wanted to go somewhere to perform comedy or whatever, like he usually does. He just shows up places. So this time he said, well, just put it out on Monday. I'm pretty sure I'll get some sales. But he sold out Tuesday. All of his shows sold out. So, at Katie Padilla wrote, I respect a lot of what you do in the community, and I spend a good chunk of change on shows at your venues, but this is not a good look at all. As a First Avenue member, I find this gross. Another user voiced online. As a booking, it does not seem to align with the values that First Avenue proposed they promote and support. I'm sure there are plenty of other venues that could give this performer a stage. A rep for Chappell did not immediately respond to Fox News Digital's request for comment. A new Netflix comedy special from Chappell was recently under the radar earlier this month through the streaming giant and focused on a speech he gave at his alma mater after declining the offer from the school to rename a theater after him following his transphobic joke controversy. Now, if you guys watch that very special, really, it's like 37, 42 minutes, something like that. So basically, he goes over the whole controversy, right? He goes over the whole controversy. And then he gets into the history. Well, he goes over the controversy. He tells why he doesn't want the school to rename the theater after him, right? He gives the new title of what he wants the theater to be called, and then he gets into a little heartfelt, heart-touching story about his time at Duke Ellington School of the Arts. He says when he first started comedy, he sat down with an older comedian, and the comedian told him, if you want to be good at this, if you really want to be good at this, I suggest you start taking acting classes. So he was a kid, pretty sure, like he said in some of his specials, how he kind of grew up a little poor. So he basically asked his mom, hey, is there a way I can take acting classes? His mom recommended him to the Duke Ellington School of the Arts. So then he enrolled, and then he said once he went in there, wall to wall art was being done all day long. He started hearing all kinds of instruments being played. You were seeing people performing monologues. You were seeing all kinds of art being done in the school. He said it was basically a job, right? From 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. they would be in school. I'm pretty sure for a good portion of that time they did actual school work as far as we do in public, private, and independent school, as well as homeschooling. But they also had an obligation to, because this is a performing arts school, they got to then express themselves artistically. So thus he was in the acting program because he wanted to be a comedian, and he was told if you want to be a good comedian, you'll take acting courses. But which he took that advice and enrolled, enrolled in the Duke Ellington School of the Arts. So this is what I have to say with the classmates that criticized him, and how can y'all criticize anybody if you guys don't know shit? That's the reason why you're still in school. Now, secondly, this man, basically since he's been making money, has donated to his alma mater because this is a place that is near and dear to him. I believe at one point the school was about to close down, I believe. And I believe he donated his money to keep those damn lights on. Because he believes that this school is just as important as any other school, if not more important, because the kids that are going there are talented and they're going to be going places. Why should this school shut down if I can do anything about it? So the kids need to apologize to him. And the transgender and I would say the whole LGBT community needs to apologize to this man because he sided with y'all. Like, what the fuck is the problem? He sided with you. That makes no sense. He sided exactly with you because he knew that it's bigger than him and it's bigger than y'all. We are all, and some people may not believe this, but we are all a community within ourselves. Like the whole world, we're all a community. We have to protect each other and make sure that everyone has exactly what they need. If not, I'm pretty sure there's a person out there that if you don't have what you need, they'll give you exactly what you need. So as a community, we need to stick together. I'm pretty sure that is Dave Chappell's sentiments. But they take what he's saying in joke form as violence. Man, get the fuck out of my face. Anyway, let's keep going. So, Chappell graduated from the school in 1991 and returned in November for a surprise visit, during which students thought he would be apologizing for insensitive remarks made in the special. When I heard those talking points coming out of these children's faces, that really sincerely hurt me, Chappell said. Because I knew those kids didn't come up with those words. I've heard those words before. The more you say I can't say something, the more urgent it is for me to say it. And it has nothing to do with what you're saying I can't say. It has everything to do with my right and my freedom of artistic expression. That is valuable to me. That is not what? Hold on. Having trouble with the word. Where am I at? It's not. You said, is it server? I don't know. That's what the person wrote in this article, so I'm gonna go with it. This is not servered for me. It's worth protecting. It's worth protecting for me. Where am I? It's worth protecting for me. It's worth protecting for me, and it's worth protecting for everyone else who endeavors in our noble professions. And these kids didn't understand that they were instruments of oppression, and I didn't get mad at that at them. They're kids. They're freshmen. They're not ready yet. They don't know. Some students at the school staged a protest just weeks after Chappelle's pledged 100,000 to the School of the Arts. Chappell was uninvited from a charity event for the theater renaming after he vowed to remove himself as a prospect altogether if those who criticize him put up their money where their mouths were and donated more to the school than his supporters. I'm 16 and I think you're childish. You handled it like a child, a student. I'm gonna get at the 16-year-old in a minute. What is it? A student said, adding that Chappelle is a bigot according. Hold on, I'm getting tied up somewhere. All right, sorry. So adding that Chappelle is a bigot according to a political playbook report. Despite his attempt to connect with the students and the general public, Chappelle last month declined the offer for the last time. The building will still be called the Theater for Artistic Freedom and Expression. Chappelle, who was among the main donors to the school's theater, said he would be open to putting his name on the building in the future. So that's basically everything that happened. But with this foolishness going on, they basically are going to. What I mean, they are. I mean the alphabet cult and their supporters. They're going to varsity theater and throwing eggs at the people who are going to support his comedy. This is what's going on.
Culture has taken too big a position in our society. I think that if we're not going to be divided, if we are going to be unified, we should be able to say what we want when we want, especially if it's not mean-spirited. And I don't believe that this work is. I think that labels tend to oversimplify situations. I guess if I were an advocate of trans rights or something, I hope I wouldn't resort to that kind of labeling and simplification.
A lot of people taking a lot of things out of context for their gain. If I really got to meet Dave Chappelle, I probably wouldn't be surprised that he's most likely caring of a lot of people. So I think he's a good guy. People just go through like lenses and they pick what they want to say and to stand on without seeing the whole picture.
I took it more as like a jab against white people more than trans, but also I'm not trans, so maybe I'm going to read it differently as a Black woman receiving it, who I'm going to think he's critiquing.
I don't think Dave Chappelle hates, like the LGBTQ community. I find that his jokes, again, I don't hate them. I know a lot of people, I don't mind them. I see them as jokes.
Yeah.
They're there as comedians. They're making jokes. It's not personal jabs at anybody, so I laughed. They're funny. It's fun poking at people. I understand their feel to need to protest this, but it's weird coming out of a show where you just have a lot of fun laughing and having people scream at you that you're all these things, so I find that interesting. Dave said to us, he's like, greet them with love and tell them Dave sent you. You are loved and you're welcome inside, so.
It's comedy, it's art, it's just jokes. Is really what it breaks down to. I mean, I see a sign back here that says these Nazis. I mean, I don't really remember reading the history books or seeing videos of Hitler telling jokes. It was a good show. It's
Yeah.
a really good show.
They were definitely talking about their rights and things like that, and he was trying to calm them down and explain his point of view and things like that. I think comedians get paid to tell jokes. That's kind of their thing. I think sometimes it can be taken up.
No, lady, that's exactly what they get paid for, and that is exactly their thing.
Wrong way, but you know, jokes sometimes. I don't think anybody's exempt from a joke. It's just a good laugh. What I heard was the protesters like, "Oh, your jokes are killing trans people. Your jokes are, directly influencing trans people. You're the reason they get shot. You're the reason, the death rates are this high. You're the reason that the suicide." Just basically putting, all the blame on Dave Chappelle and his jokes. And his response was, "Do you think that the jokes, do you think that my jokes influenced the Uvalde shooter? In a sense, like, do you think jokes is what caused him to go shoot it up? Do you think my jokes caused the Buffalo shooter to go and, in New York and do those things?" And the dude was just, he didn't really have a response to that because there isn't.
Because they wouldn't have a response. You know why? Because Dave put them up to questioning that they can't answer. She said the question, did my jokes influence the Uvalde shooter, the Buffalo shooter, so on and so forth, right? Because they said your jokes harm people. They make other people shoot our people, right? Wrong. I remember there was an article that I read on this show about was it some trans person was killed by someone. It was a trans woman, so man that transitioned into a woman, was killed by what the LGBTQ or the alphabet community call straight people and people who identify as their gender as a cisgender male. I think he stabbed the trans woman or he shot the trans woman, right? All because of this. All because the trans person lied to them. Now, I would say this, and this is something that women, actual women, have an issue with, is when a man makes a decision for them, right? So if a man decides to cheat on a woman, he didn't put the woman up on enough notice to where she can make her own decision of being okay or not with him doing that, right? So this is exactly what trans people do to straight men. You make our decisions for us. Now, I won't put myself in there because if I don't meet you through a friend or, through someone that I know, we're not going to date. So, sorry about that. But sorry, not sorry, to be honest. But check this out. By you making that man's decision garnered that reaction. Because we all know, as men, we all know this. There is no activity you can do with a man that of sexual nature that doesn't make you gay afterwards. It's just no ifs, ands, buts about it. Any sexual act you do with a man, you are now labeled as a gay man. It's just what it is. But then the trans people would say, well, that's not a man, that's a woman. No, that's a man. And will always be a man. Just because they're playing dress up doesn't mean that they're not a man. Anatomically, they are a man. Even with the cloaca that they have now, that they got built on themselves. So, just saying. But they don't want to say that. I mean, they don't want to hear that. This is what they want to hear. Oh, well, we accept all trans people and Why can't y'all be more like, what the hell is that dude's name? Malik Yoba. Why can't you be more like Malik Yoba? Because we're not Malik Yoba. Malik Yoba said he finds trans women to be attractive. That's not what all men said. So let Malik Yoba have all the trans pussy he wants. Whatever that is.
Way to respond. Jokes do not, those type of jokes do not cause people to go and do hate crimes.
The money, want the money. The money ain't going nowhere, honey. You can have another show tomorrow and the next day, but you don't have to have tonight. Or you can move the show somewhere else. Like move to Las Vegas.
Prince hates Dave Chappelle. Everything. Prince was queer.
Prince was queer.
He was popping shit up that fade too. I will say this before I continue on. This is ridiculous. Like, you're so upset about something you haven't watched. And I said that really about the people who are protesting this abortion stuff. You're not paying attention to what's actually happening. This is what's going on. This is what you guys aren't understanding. When the Supreme Court ruled out that, hey, this abortion thing shouldn't be a federal issue. It should be more of a state's issue. So let us hand this back to the people and its respective representatives in the state that they reside in. But no, they didn't want to hear that because it's my body, my choice, all right? No one's going to make claims about what I can do with my body. It's like, get out of here. You obviously didn't read the whole document in its entirety. All, 200 and some odd pages it was? I suggested all of y'all get together, get 26 people together because I believe I think that was 236 pages. How about you get, I don't know, 26 people. Y'all take and read 20 pages. And then whatever the last few pages, y'all will share that. And then you will finally get the correct, if you guys can comprehend, you will get the real reason of why they did it. All right? I say this to trans people. If you don't want to listen to the jokes, you don't have to. But if you can comprehend what these jokes actually mean, you can then pass that on to your friends in the community, and then you can then understand what he's really doing. Now, where was I? I don't know if I read this part yet. The comedian wondered during his act if the crowd gathered to protest his appearance would still all be out there outside First Avenue. But the local Star Tribune reported protesters had left the curtain call. Chappell, 48 years old, also told his audience he thought the decision to move the show was devastating, and asked fans to continue supporting the nightclub known for being Prince's hometown venue and being featured in the film Purple Rain. It's an important place for our culture, he said via the Tribune. Chappell has been at the center of controversy over his Netflix program, The Closer. Roughly 50 trans rights protesters lined up outside of First Avenue to demonstrate against Chappell's gig before it was moved 3 miles away to another venue. I wasn't expecting these kinds of numbers, said Alan Bell, a Chappelle show ticket holder who had been hit by an egg while standing in line. Onlookers believe The person who threw the egg was not part of the protest. Industry leaders and comedy club owners voiced opinions on Chappelle's latest cancellation as he continued to fight for artistic expression following the Netflix program Backlash. I don't feel like it's right that people can tell other people what they can and cannot say. Danny Zoldan, owner of Stand Up New York, told Fox News Digital. If people don't want to support him, if people are offended by some of his transgender jokes, they don't have to support him. They don't have to watch the Netflix special. They don't have to buy tickets to their show. But to Force Management, who booked him in the first place and put pressure on them to cancel is really unfortunate, Zoldan added. Comedians make jokes about everyone, which is true. Comedians do make jokes about everyone, but they can't seem to see that because they have their heads up their asses. Now, I will say this as well. What's more unfortunate is that they didn't allow Dave Chappelle to stand his ground at that venue to then speak to him. Because for some reason, they don't want to have a conversation with the man at all either, which is also frightening too, because the man asked you at least, I would say 6 months ago, if that he will meet you guys at a venue of his choosing, at a time of his choosing, and he will then speak to you guys about what he has been saying and why is it so hurtful to you guys. But he also said you will not summon him, but if you want to come and have a respectful conversation, you can. Do you think those people took him up on his offer? As we can see, they didn't, for the simple fact that there's still backlash against them. That 16-year-old child that said that Dave was acting like a child, and his jokes are childish. They obviously don't watch Dave Chappelle, because in his Inside the Actors Studio interview, he told you how he structures his jokes. Although he does scatological humor, he also, in a way, speaks about himself as well as his family. But Dave does thought-provoking humor for this reason. Because if you want to be a good, I won't say performer. Well, yeah, if you want to be a good performer, you have to take risks. These are the risks that he's choosing to take for artistic expression and freedom to do so. But these people don't get it, because they believe what they say is law. And in some ways, they have made it that way, because First Avenue would have never canceled if they didn't fear their alphabet cult members or whatever backlash that they would get if, a few hundred people won't show up to First Avenue anymore. I'm pretty sure that then you can take that hit. Who cares? But I will say this before we go, or if anyone's in here, if you want to hit that link that's sitting up there in the in the chat that's pinned to the chat. Hit it right now so we can talk. If not, I'm gonna say a few more words and then I'm gonna end this. I just feel as though that is ridiculous that Dave has to go through this because some people feel as though that his message isn't what they expect out of an artist. They expect the artist to be more progressive in their comedy. But check this out. You know what we don't see anymore? And as far as like a movie genre goes, we don't see comedies anymore. You know why? Because this damn country has become so damn PC that anything you put out, it could basically be targeted for whatever the fuck. We can't have those summer blockbuster comedies like we used to, like Hot Tub Time Machine, Superbad, whatever those movies, whatever the other movies are called that used to come out during the summer, around like the late 2000s, early 2010s. Like these movies, which I would say are which I would say are rather funny. Like Hot Tub Time Machine's funny, and Superbad's funny. Whatever that movie was that Seth Rogen wrote, where he had like a celebrity ensemble cast, where the world ends and all that. I forgot what the hell the movie's called, but those movies were funny, as well as all the other comedies as well that I've watched throughout my life. Funny as fuck. Can they get away with that stuff now with this whole PC culture and all this other shit? No, I don't think so. That's the reason I will never get probably another comedy. If so, it won't be funny. So that's, I guess that's what we have to deal with, but we don't have to deal with it because what is it? 8% of the U.S. population is homosexuals. I'm pretty sure they'll get the message of people wanting to do whatever they want in their own expressions. I'm pretty sure that they can. They'll get over it. So, ending this, I will say this. I think it's rather stupid for these people to be protesting in front of a venue because they don't like what one person said in his form of artistic expression and comedy that he chooses to do. You don't have to watch. You don't have to pay for a ticket. You don't even have to be in the same vicinity as this person. But they believe that they should because they need to get their message out to the world. Because what, y'all want to take over the world? Because you're already trying to take over our kids. So now you want the world now as well. There's only, what, I would say, it's probably less than that here in this country. I said 8%, but it's probably less than that. But I'm saying it's a lot of us and far less than y'all, so I suggest y'all chill the fuck out. So with that being said, that is the end of the show. Nobody wanted to come up and talk, and I understand it's a hot topic, and you don't want to be canceled, but who gives a fuck about cancel culture anymore? What the fuck is cancel culture anyway? I say what the fuck I want about y'all motherfuckers. So anyway, people, please, if you could, I'm about to go through some these promotions again, and then I'm gonna get out of here. So if you could, like this video, share this video, and subscribe if you are new here, and hit that bell icon to all so you can get all of my notifications once I go live. All right? I'm not even playing my theme music. Where cue the theme music. So yeah, man, if you could like this video, share this video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to all so you can get all of my notifications once I go live. All right? If you could, please subscribe to both of my YouTube channels when you are subscribing. You can subscribe to my main channel, which is Marcus Speaks. You can also hit up my secondary channel from Marcus Speaks, or you can hit up Marcus Speaks from my secondary channel, Marcus Speaks Play. And the way you can do that, the descriptions are in the description box below. So, hey, do what you want with those links, all right? Hit them, subscribe, all right? Hit that bell icon to all. As well, on Fridays when I do Marcus Speaks Play, I'm also streaming on Twitch. You can view my last two videos from a week ago and this week as well. So please be please be kind and go there and check them out. But if you don't watch all of not only my Mark Speaks Play playlists or my game playlists that are on both pages. Also check out Marcus Speaks Play, Marcus Speaks Live playlist that is on my main channel, Marcus Speaks. Has every podcast video that I've ever done. So I'm pretty sure y'all will be mad at what y'all doing here. So, it's just all, just a thing that I feel is important that you guys should play, because this is what, 2.5 years worth of content that I've done. Let's just y'all go there and watch it. Alright? And if you feeling froggy to come up here and link, but I got 3 rules for y'all. And when you hit that link that's pinned in the comment, in the chat, in the live chat, I have 3 rules. 1, you must be on camera once you hit that link. If you don't want to be on camera, then you don't have to be on camera, but you have to be on camera when you come back here to the backstage. There's a playlist right now. There's a private chat here in the back. Let me know who you are. Let me know if you want to be on camera, if you don't want to be on camera. And then before I bring you up, I'll tell you to turn your camera off before I bring you up. And thirdly, please silence all background noise. I don't want to hear anything that's going on in the background. If you come up here and speak to me, please keep your surroundings silent, or at least to a minimum, so I don't hear what's going on in your background. I don't hear the dog barking, the child crying, your husband fucking. I don't want to see. I don't want to hear none of that. All right. So if you want to come and talk to me, hit that link, and it's been right there in the chat. So yeah, people, that is my time here. I'm Marcus Speaks. Thank you guys for give y'all a round of applause for coming through and watching the replay. That is for you as well. And with that being said, people, I'm out of here. Alright? I thank y'all for watching. I'll check you guys out next week on Marcus Speaks Play. Alright? It'll be here on both my main and secondary channel. Alright? So everybody, until next week, peace out.